Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you some common ways to start and end embroidery stitches. I'm going to be teaching you a couple of different methods for using knots as well as a few that don't use knots depending on what you're working on and what your preferences are. I'm going to be going ahead and using this embroidery as an example because some of these might be easier to learn in relation to where the stitches are. This is actually a pattern that I have available in my shop that I'll leave linked below if it looks like something you'd be interested in stitching. The first two examples I'm going to share with you are ones that involve starting your stitches with knots. This can be kind of controversial for people. Some people don't like knots. However, I am somebody that likes to use them sometimes and other times I don't, depending on what I'm working on. And I also think they're really helpful for beginners to learn because it allows you to have adequate tension on the thread when you start. So the first knot is called an overhand knot, and this is one of the simplest knots, and it's one that you probably already know. You essentially just make a loop with the end of the thread and then place the tail of thread through the loop. This knot is great when you're using a little bit of a thicker strand of thread, or if you're using around, say, 3 to 6 strands of floss. The reason that you want to use a thicker strand is because if you're using something really thin, it's going to make a really tiny knot and it will probably slip through the fabric. But once you have this knot in the end of your thread, you can just begin stitching like you normally would. And then you can trim the excess tail off of the back so it doesn't get in the way. You can do it now, or you can wait until when you're ready to end the other side of the thread. For times when you're using less strands or a thinner, finer piece of thread, you can do a quilter's knot, which is where you will place the tail of thread and the tip of the needle facing one another, and then you will twist the tail of thread around the tip of the needle. I like to do this about 3 or 4 times. I think that makes an adequate size knot when you're using one strand. Then you're going to pinch these twists with your thumb and forefinger and pull the needle through. Pull it all the way to the very bottom, and then a little knot will form. I like these knots because they're really low profile and they're large enough to where they're not going to slip through when you start a strand of thread. So the next few ways don't involve knots, so if you are not interested in knots, these will be the ways that you'd want to start an embroidery thread. So the first way is just by leaving a tail of thread along the back of the embroidery. This is best to do if you're working with something that's like a smaller piece because you want to be able to reach with your hand wherever you're starting. If you're working with a larger hoop, you'll want to have some sort of frame or stand in place so you can have your hand free to do this. So you'll go ahead and just start stitching like you normally would, and then you'll want to leave at least several inches of a tail of thread along the back. And I usually just like to secure it with my middle finger or my index finger as I'm making the first few stitches to give myself some tension when I start. So I just start stitching like normal. This is really not a complicated way to start threads, but generally I like to teach the knot method first just because it's one less thing to think about when you're starting to learn embroidery. But this is a super simple way to do it, and it is a way to keep the back really neat as you're stitching. So once you have finished the stitches that you want to make using this piece of thread, you'll want to go ahead and secure both ends of the thread along the back. So in order to finish a thread without making a knot, all you have to do is place your needle underneath a few of the stitches nearby, and I like to weave it in and out and under the stitches a few times. I like to do this kind of similar to how you would do it in knitting, where you weave in the ends of threads to secure them. If you do it several times, it secures it relatively well and you shouldn't have any issues with the thread falling out. Then you'll just take the other side of the thread, thread the needle, and then repeat it and do the same thing. And just trim any of the excess, and it's a very discreet way to do it. You'll barely see where you ended the threads. This next method uses a knot, but it's a temporary knot, and it's called an away knot. In order to do this, you can make whatever knot you want. So you can use an overhand knot, or you can do a quilter's knot, whatever works. You just want something that's going to sit on top of the fabric and keep the thread in place. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quilter's knot because I have 2 strands of thread here. And you're going to start by going down through the fabric instead of up through, and you want to start several inches away from where you intend to stitch. So you'll just pull the thread through until the knot is sitting on top of the fabric, and then you will start your stitches like you usually would. And you can just keep this in place until you're ready to secure the ends of the thread. If you have trouble with tension when you're first making your stitches, or if you're doing certain stitches like a chain stitch or a stitch where the knot might get in the way in the back, then an away knot is a great solution, and it's one that is a great one if you really don't like knots. So to end your stitches, you can simply tuck them underneath the stitches like we did previously, and then in order to remove the knot on the front, you will just pull it up off the fabric a little bit and cut right below the base of the knot, and then you will thread your needle and go ahead and weave that piece of thread in and out of the stitches a couple of times to secure. This next way involves making some split stitches and then covering them up. So all you have to do to make a split stitch is make a singular straight stitch, and then you're going to go up through that stitch right in the middle and split through it with your needle. And I like to make these split stitches 3 or 4 times, just enough to get a little bit of a start on the thread. And then you can cover up this line of stitches with some other kind of fill stitch, like the long and short stitch or a satin stitch. So this particular way of starting thread only works if you plan to cover it up in some way, but I do like this way because it will secure the other end of the thread pretty well, and you can just trim it, or if you really want to, you can weave in and out of the fabric with that end of thread. And then for the other end of the thread that you were using as your working thread, you would just end it however you wanted to end it, so you could also just weave in and out of the fabric if you're planning on not using knots. Say you're working on something that's going to be washed a lot and you're worried that the threads might come loose. This is called a sewing knot, and it is a very secure and pretty low profile knot to use. So you would essentially just make your stitches like you usually would, and then you're going to flip the embroidery over to the back, and you're going to place your needle underneath some stitches nearby, similar to how you would when you're attempting to weave in and out of the fabric to end a stitch. But instead of pulling it all the way through, you're going to leave a little bit of a loop, and then you're going to place your needle through the loop and pull it tight until a small little loop forms. Then you'll place your needle underneath that same area again, pulling it through until there's a little loop, and then you'll place your needle one more time through that loop and pull it, and then a knot should form. And it should be pretty secure, and you can just trim off the tail. So there you have it. These are some of my favorite methods for starting and ending embroidery stitches. If I didn't recommend one that's one of your favorites, please leave a comment and share below. And if you enjoy embroidery tutorials and you're looking for some creative inspiration, please consider liking and subscribing. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.